Yo, this is Ben Cubbage, and it is my 41st birthday tomorrow, June 6th, and I am hiking Mount Four Sisters, or Sigunian Shan. I'm at about 4,000 meters right here on the trail. We're in the mist, we're in the mountains. This is just awesome and beautiful. Last year, during my 40th birthday, which is kind of a big milestone, I was on crutches and I just had to kind of lay in bed and be on the couch the whole time. So this year I said, no way, I'm definitely gonna get out. I gotta do something super cool. So we're doing Four Sisters, we're hiking, and this is gonna be sweet. We're on an epic road trip through Sichuan province in western China. We just drove 2 hours from Chengdu, the capital of Sichuan province, and we're here in Wolong, W-O-L-O-N-G. Wolong is about 1,600 meters in elevation, so you can see we're surrounded by these beautiful, lush green mountains. We're headed tonight to Four Sisters town, or Sigunian Shan. That's a peak outside of Chengdu, about 4 to 5 hour drive from Chengdu, that has 4 significant peaks, which are called the Four Sisters Peaks. All these peaks are over 5,000 meters, and we're about halfway on our drive there. Wolong town, we just stopped here for lunch today, eating a little bit of Sichuan food, and Wolong is famous for a breeding base or breeding center for giant pandas. So if you're passing through Wolong, super great to stop here for a night or so and see the giant pandas. We're gonna keep heading on to Four Sisters Mountain, or Sigunian Shan. Okay, we're in our first official Sichuan restaurant of the trip. And of course I had to get a few classic Sichuan dishes. Sichuan food is especially known for its numbing seeds, or peppercorns, or huajiao. It's also known for having extremely spicy peppers. Neither of these dishes are particularly spicy. We got a little bit of huiguo rou, or twice cooked pork. It's kind of like a fatty pork, almost like a bacon type meat. And then the other dish we got is bamboo and beef, which is appropriate because right here we're surrounded by bamboo forests where pandas love to eat bamboo. Okay, so we got the huiguo rou here. It's very nice. This is the twice cooked pork. Very salty, but very nice. I super love that. If you love bacon, you're gonna love this one. And then we got the bamboo shoots. So this is young bamboo shoots that have been cooked with beef and a little bit of pepper. It's very nice. And these are quite tender and quite good. Okay guys, this is Four Sisters Town. We're at the entrance ticket. It's a misty day, which is pretty typical for the area. So you can probably expect weather to look like this in the summer. And we're headed up. Okay, this is the start of our trail here. You see we're gonna be using some pack horses because carrying tents and backpacks at 5,000 meters is pretty intense. So just carrying the day pack, and then this is the start of our trail. We're gonna be headed up this ridge. Okay, we're at the wooden walkway, about 5 minutes in. So you can expect a lot of Chinese tourists to be here in the first couple hundred meters, just doing a little nature walk from town. So yeah, this is a start. And yeah, we'll be on this wooden walkway for a little bit until it turns into a nature trail. Woo! All right, so we're past the wooden steps. Now we're into this dirt trail. So lots of horses on the trail, so you can expect it's pretty muddy. The good news is though, the trail is graded for horses, so it's really only a 3 or 4% grade. It's pretty gentle up till now, definitely for the first 2 hours. Very doable. I'd say you could even bring kids here or family. If you just want a short little family day hike, this would be a great point to get to and to turn around. So we're pressing on. Okay, we're about an hour into the hike here. I've reached this beautiful high altitude alpine valley. It's all still wooden trail and rock trail, so it's still quite not so wild. And you can see behind me, there's this little rest station playing Chinese rock music. So, and it actually has a vending machine with Coke and water and stuff. So we're definitely not in the wild part yet, but it's really starting to get beautiful. And definitely some high altitude alpine growth here, misty, hopefully be clearing up later on the day. It's a little bit weird to be at 3,600 meters and there's a movie playing behind me on Four Sisters and the history and ecology. And there's 2 vending machines where you can buy oxygen here and water and Pepsi. So it's not every hike at 12,000 feet, 3,600 meters that you're able to buy such things. So I do think the hike is going to get a little bit more wild, but definitely the first couple kilometers it feels a little bit paved, and you can kind of expect little rest stops like this, which is unexpected for such a high altitude. Okay, we've come to a really nice flat section, which is great. My lungs are thankful for that. We're about 3,600 meters, 12,000 feet. You can see our horse team behind me here. Mud is probably 1 to 2 centimeters deep, a little sloppy, not unbearable, but you definitely don't want to wear your brand new white Nikes out here. Got the horses right here behind me. It seems these horses, which are probably walking at a very lazy pace up the mountain, I think they probably do this every day, they walk at actually about the exact same pace as me. So that's a good way to pace myself. If I start slowing down behind the horses, I know I need to speed up a little bit. But yeah, feeling good. Sun's coming out, path is drying, and we're happy to be up here. All right, the upside is the wooden path is finished, so it definitely feels a little more wild. We're on a kind of a horse trail, probably 2 or 3 meters wide, all dirt. Nice to feel a bit more natural. The downside is it's super muddy and our feet are just totally soaked in mud. But that's all kind of par for the course. Hiking in Sichuan. As the trail starts to get muddy out here, there are these little hobbit-like side trails that hikers have created to get out of the mud and the goop. In some places, the mud on the horse trail can be a foot deep. So you're going to want to take these little bit higher trails, which feel very hobbit-like through the moss and the rainforest. So in general, probably about 60 to 70% of the traffic on the trail is horses. So you will have to kind of make way for them. Most of the horse groups are 3 to 8 people riding horses. So as hikers, I don't think it's unmanageable, but do be aware that you're gonna have to step aside a few times for the horses. And it's like Scotland up here. Wow, look at the Highlands. Woo! The wind is kicked up. We're in a light mist. Super chilly. My body is really cold. I gotta keep moving here in a minute. But here's our first view of Dafang behind me, the peak at 5,025 meters. That's where we're headed tomorrow morning. We're about 500 meters from the stone hut where we're going to be sleeping. You can just see. Wow. Oh, every step is absolutely grueling. Man, I'm only 300 meters from the little stone hut. I just caught a glimpse of the roof back there. But, you know, normally 300 meters, that would take you maybe 3-4 minutes to walk on a flat surface. I think it's going to take me 20 or 30 minutes just to close the gap between me and this stone hut. Ooh, I am just running on empty. The tank is empty, and boy, I'm ready to be there. Wow. So a couple of the Chinese who I've been hiking with all day long, I got to give it to them. They worked super hard, but within 100, 200 meters of the Little Stone Hut, they just kind of pooped out, which I totally understand because that's where I am right now. And they actually bought a horse, or I should say rented a horse for the last 100 or 200 meters. That tells you how hard this last kilometer of this hike is. So don't underestimate the altitude. Give yourself plenty of time. For us, it's almost 6 o'clock at night. We're rolling into the Stone Hut here. So yeah, give yourself plenty of time. I'd recommend departing early in the morning. This is 16 kilometers, but it's uphill all the way. And once you hit right around 4,000 meters, your walk is going to slow down quite a bit. You're going to go from maybe 3 kilometers an hour to maybe 1 kilometer an hour or half kilometer an hour. That's kind of where I'm walking right now. So yeah, so give yourself plenty of time and account for the altitude because, woo, it is towering. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Okay, so this is definitely one of the happiest moments of my life, perhaps after the day I married my wife. We are at Four Sisters Base Camp. Look at this glory. Stone houses, tents, warmth. It's basically the same altitude if you're a trekker. For reference, about Annapurna Base Camp, roughly around 4,200 meters, and Manaslu Base Camp. So if you've done trekking in Nepal, this is quite comparable to those areas as far as altitude and type of conditions with the stone houses. And we're going inside, and I'm going to take my shoes off and have a breath. This amazing land includes more than 52 snow-capped peaks over 5,000 meters. But the most famous of all these peaks is the Four Sisters. Dafang, shown here, is the eldest sister peak at 5,025 meters. Arfang, the second sister peak, is at 5,200 meters. Sanfeng, the third sister peak, and the tallest of all, Yaomifeng, at 6,250 meters. Yaomifeng literally means the youngest sister of the 4 peaks and is also known as the Queen of the Sichuan Mountains because she is the second highest mountain in all the whole Sichuan region. Local Tibetan legend has it that a demon used to live here and used to violently bother all the Tibetans in these local mountain villages. To save the people from this demon, a great god of the mountains made war against the demon, but he lost against the demon's magical powers. His daughters, the 4 sisters of this mountain deity, came to his rescue to take revenge for their father's death and trying to bring peace back to the region. But the devil was so powerful they could not defeat him. So the 4 mountain goddesses turned into mountains to crush the demon. The local Tibetan people remember these 4 sisters and their act of bravery to defeat the demon and crush him under their weight as they sacrificed their lives to become mountains. And they revere this place as a holy and sacred site. Okay, just use the bathroom. Pretty simple in there. You know the bathroom is high altitude. When I almost fainted as I was squatting over the squatty. I actually had to stand up and kind of regain the oxygen. So do be mindful that just take it easy here at base camp because yeah, it's really high. But oh baby, what a thing to wake up to this morning. What a birthday gift. This beautiful mountain, snowy peak behind me in the distance. Just snowy peaks, 360 degrees all around me. Back there is Dafang, so we would have actually had to kind of scramble up those rocks. It's mostly a hike. There's a little bit of a rock scramble. The last part of Dafang does have a wire to hold on to keep you stable. so that you don't fall over the cliff, because there's some pretty steep vertical drop there. But yeah, this is the view, and I'm heading back down. This base camp is 4,400 meters. It's going to take you about 3 to 4 hours to get to the top, even though it's only about a kilometer of horizontal distance, and then it's going to take you about another 2 hours to get down. So you're adding another 6 hours to your day, and then you still have to return the 16 kilometers. A lot of people do this as a 3-day hike, where they hike here to base camp on the first day, 16 kilometers, hike to Dafang, and then kind of come back down into a saddle between Dafang and Arfang, which is 5,200 meters. Arfang is the second peak of the Four Sisters Range, and then they hit Arfang, and then come back to Dafang, come back to base camp, and go home. So that's a lot of time, is a 2-night, 3-day itinerary that a lot of people do. I was just doing it over 2 days, 1 night. I wish I'd actually allowed myself a little bit more time to acclimatize, because that maybe was why I didn't feel so good last night. But anyway, I'm headed down. I feel good now. I had a good night's sleep. I'm glad I didn't push any further up, because I just don't think it would have been wise. I might have been able to do it, but I certainly would have made myself throw up. So yeah, be careful of altitude. Just know your limits, and of course we always want to get the peak, but it's more important to live to hike another day. So just make sure you're really careful of altitude, and be mindful of your body. And if your body's telling you don't do it, then just listen to your body. Okay, as we're headed down here, an overall assessment of Four Sisters. This is a great hike. Highly recommend it. Definitely one of the most beautiful hikes I've ever done in Sichuan. It's only a 4 to 5 hour drive from Chengdu, the capital of Sichuan province. So it's really accessible. You can do it in a weekend or a long weekend. You can do it as a day hike, an overnight hike, 3 days. You can get up to 2,000 meters, 3,000 meters, 4,000 meters, 5,000 meters. So there's really something here for everyone. It's a great beginner to intermediate introduction to high altitude. If you're trying to get a little bit higher and want to get to 4,000 or 5,000 meters, this is a great hike, and it's really accessible. The downside of this hike for me is the horses and the horse poop. I love the horses, and I'm glad that horses are available here to take people up for people that, might not be able to do the hike in the altitude by themselves. And that is great. But it does leave the trail a little bit damaged, and you're going to encounter some horse poop, and there's going to be a couple of times you're slip sliding in the muck because of horse hooves. But that's a super minor thing, not a deal breaker. Overall, I love this hike. I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10 on a scale, and probably 8 out of 10 on hardness. This is Ben Cubbage from Elevated Trips, coming at you from the land of yaks in Sichuan province. Subscribe to our channel and check us out at elevatedtrips.com.